An Atlanta woman's home was torn down by accident, and now she's looking for answers. She's not getting them. Now, it all started when Susan Hodgson got a call from a neighbor. The neighbor asked, yo, did you hire someone to demo your home? Because your home's getting demolished. At that point, Susan said, no, I did not hire someone to demolish my home. Now, keep in mind, the home had been vacant for many years. She had been paying the property taxes on it, she claims. It had been boarded up. They had been maintaining the landscaping around the home. Apparently the home has been in the family for many, many years. She didn't want to get rid of it, but no one was living in it, luckily, at the time. Now, at that point, the neighbor went over to confront the worker, the individual demoing this home, who replied in a harsh tone, quote, he told her to shut up and mind her own business, Hodgkin said. Okay, so at that point, she decides to hit up one of her family members to go see what the hell's going on. And this is where things get crazy. So my family member said, well, I want to see a permit or something. And the guy pulled it out and said, oh, I'm at the wrong address. And he just packs everything up and leaves, and the house is just gone. I mean, you can't, so here's a screenshot from a Fox 5 report on the story. I love when reporters do these like super cheesy things, but in this case, it actually serves a purpose. You see her demolished home. You get a sense of how bad this situation is. And so at this point, Susan has filed a police report. She's getting some lawyers involved. She's trying to figure out what's going on. The man who demolished the home works for an Atlanta-based company called You Call It, We Haul It, which is a great name.
You call it, and we smashed the wrong house to pieces.
Dude, but I just love like how indifferent the guy was. It's like, oh, let me see the permit. Oh. Looks like I demolished the wrong home. I'm gonna pack it up and go home now.
Even that was a mistake on his part. No, look, the arrogance in the beginning is the problem, right? Hey, brother, when somebody tells you you're demolishing the wrong home, maybe double check. Like, I double check things that are so much more minor than that. Meanwhile, he's like, yeah, let's roll the wrecking ball here. And somebody comes up to him and says, hey, brother, wrong house. He's like, nope, not buying it. And not double checking. I'll just destroy it just in case. The other mistake that he made is when he finally realized he was the wrong address. If you thought it through, the correct answer is, oh, you know what? I actually have someone who's gonna tell you what happened here. I'll be right back. And then you leave and then never come back. Because once you say wrong address, everybody knows you screwed it up and that it was your fault. And I hope they got a picture of his license plate, because that is a hell of a mistake to make with someone else's house.
Totally. Now look, Susan obviously wants answers. At first, she wasn't really getting any, but in a statement to WAGA, the company said that it is investigating and working to resolve the mishap. I hope they do. They literally destroyed her home. Now, with that said, I have a somewhat controversial statement to make, I guess. I mean, I don't even think it should be controversial. Just think about this in your own context. I don't think that it's okay to just leave a vacant home in the neighborhood and like board it up like that. It makes the neighborhood look terrible, and it's not fair to your neighbors. So if you're not interested in living in the home, if you're not renting the home out, then how about you sell the home and call it a day? Like, I get that it's been in the family for many years, but it had been sitting vacant. I don't want to have a home with boarded up windows and doors in my neighborhood. That looks terrible.
Yeah, to be fair to them, they paid all their bills and they would have the lawn tended to and made sure that it didn't fall into disrepair, but it was boarded up. And so that does give you some context to the story too.
And it attracts, look, boarded up homes, I know from personal experience, attract crime. They attract like people who break into it, even though it's like, if it's boarded up, it is a sign to people who want to find like their next drug den to break in and do their drugs. And what ends up happening, at least in the context of Los Angeles, is within a month, that house burns down. Like, I'm keeping it real.
Yeah, so I have a proposed compromise solution. So first of all, when you board up the house, you're basically saying to people, look here, this is empty, right? I wouldn't do that. Find a neighbor or something or a friend in the neighborhood and have them come check in on it once a month. Make sure, or once, whatever the number you're comfortable with, right? Pay them a small amount, and especially if they live nearby, it's not gonna be a big deal and they're gonna have access to your house. Yeah, that's a slight downside, but it's a lot better than boarding it up and drawing attention and having it be kind of a blighted neighborhood. On the other hand, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of you keeping it. Like I have these dreams of going back and buying the old houses I lived in.
Yeah.
Hilarious fantasies, right? I should be so lucky to be able to buy one of them back, right? And but having said that, I get the urge. Like that's my family home. That's the home I grew up in. I love that home, which by the way makes the story even more tragic because that's the home that they just smashed to pieces.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So to me, the moral of the story is, whatever you're doing, if someone says you're doing something wrong, maybe double check. Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.